Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Lurkin here from Oblilytics, and this is Season 3, Season of the Construct, and we're going over a Ball Lightning build. And Ball Lightning is a shell of its former self, but it's still pretty decent. Definitely still S tier. The boss damage is not as good. You're not nuking bosses, but eventually you'll stagger them and you'll kill them. So we're gonna run a couple vaults, and then maybe see if we can get a Nightmare Dungeon with some bosses to showcase it. I'm gonna go over the gear real quick. Um, so this build, I'm running just a legendary helmet, armor, max life, cooldown, and then I personally prefer life on kill. You could take lucky hit chance with barrier or max mana. Uh, in season 2, I got used to having undying, so with sorcerer having such a low health pool, I really like the life on kill because this roll right here equates to 10 skulls in your weapon because the skulls are plus 24, and it equates to about 1.5% of your max life per kill. Then you can run Raiment or you can run a normal chest if you want to be tankier, but I opt to run Raiment because you get the grouping's really nice now that Ball Lightning isn't as busted, and it kind of helps a lot. Next we have I run Control for 35% more damage to stunned enemies, attack speed crit, lucky hit restore. Next we have Tibalt's. I didn't run Tibalt's last season because I didn't need it. I didn't need the mana when we had Chain Lightning enchant. That worked with Static Surge after they nerfed that. So now we go back to Tibalt's. The 40% damage is just great. And you get it every time you teleport or Flame Shield. Next we go our Asus Boots. I'm not running Elementalist in this build because the mana isn't as good as it used to be. Again, we lost Chain Lightning enchant with Static Surge, so you no longer get that third free cast every third cast. So you're looking at about 38.6% crit chance during an evade, and then you can factor in the movement speed after elites. If you take it on the Paragon board too, like without the Paragon, the 42.3 of that, you're looking at another 14% crit, and with the Paragon 2, you're looking at another 10 or something like that. You can run a wand or a dagger, because this build has Ball Lightning enchantment. End up running a wand, just for the lucky hit, because the close damage from the dagger only equates to about a 3% DPS increase. Int all stats, and then optimally you want mastery damage and damage to close, but honestly you can take any, it doesn't really matter. You can take any two additives that have high uptime, like say crit damage or vulnerable damage, because your lightning spears are making everything vulnerable. Next we have an amulet. This is not what your amulet should look like. Ideally it's going to be mastery skills, 3 ranks to mastery skills, 3 ranks to conjuration mastery passive, and then mana cost reduction. Then your fourth, you have the option between move speed, total armor, or cooldown reduction. So those 3, move speed, cooldown, or total armor. Move speed's going to equate to about 8% crit with Asus, cooldown's cooldown, and total armor, that helps you hit the cap. With the disobedience on the helmet and the armor roll here, you're going to be under cap for T100s, but if you use an Elixir of Fortitude, you're going to cap out at around 13,300. Next we have Talrasha. We have our lightning damage for Talrasha, we have our flame shield for the fire damage, and then we have just 1 point in ice blades for the ice damage, so that's 45%. Next, I would typically have splintering here. We have a flex spot in this aspect. I don't have a splintering on hand. So I just slotted Edge Master because it's damage. But ideally, you're looking at, I don't have a well-rolled ring. What you want is crit chance, resource generation, and max life. And then the fourth is whatever the hell you can get on there. Yes, you want resource, max life, crit chance, and then you can take like max mana, lightning damage, or close damage, anything like that. And then on the wand, I forgot to mention the affix here, the aspect. So you're going to want I'm going to put Storm Swell on here because the lightning spears, you have such high uptime on your crit that this 45% damage is going to be huge. If you are having trouble with boss damage, you can opt to get rid of control entirely and just slot something like Edge Master. The link will be in the description with the build and whatever iteration I'm on with it now, but it should look something similar to this. And then next, you want to focus. So you want crit. So you need crit strike chance, resource generation, and cooldown. The fourth one should either be mana cost reduction or lucky hit restore, something to help with the mana. This is just what I have. It's early in the season. We're going to go over the Paragon board real quick. So I have a couple different nodes. I'm just trying some stuff, but I'll just go over the general basics, and it'll kind of look the same, just with some other stuff. So first on the starter board, we grab some resistance, some non-fizz. We're just looking at Tactician. I want that 10% increased damage after I teleport, and that buffs our all resist and our non-fizz damage. Next, I take reinforced because every time you have a lightning spear coming out, you get a barrier, and that gives you DR with barrier. Grab some non-fizz here. That also buffs our non-fizz and our all resist. Next board, we take Adept for mastery skill damage and increased area, and then I opt to grab this max life and this max mana here. Max life is really good now because it's multiplicative now, so each time you add an extra node, it like builds off of the previous instead of just being like flat. I grab Elemental Summoner, mainly for you get high, less chance on the ice blade. I mean, less cooldown on the ice blades. That doesn't really matter, but mainly it's so that the lightning spears do more damage. I'm pathing by here anyway. It's 4 points, so I just grab it. And then since we lost Ravenous, I want some attack speed, because that helps cast more ball lightnings and increase the tick rate. So I just grab these right here for about 10% attack speed. Next, we move into Frigid Fate. We're taking Enchanter for this fat 85.8 non-fizz damage. We path down. I end up grabbing this vulnerable resist just because I'm running Raiment and Tibbs, so like I don't have that much DR. So I might end up grabbing some of this DR vuln over here. We grab our Frigid Fate. We're at 29%, so that's a 1.3x mult on any vulnerable enemies. I've been experimenting with movement speed after killing an elite because it adds crit chance. Because Asus factors in your overcap above 200%, so like you'll get a lot of crit chance after killing an elite. We take Destruction. I got 44 in that for a big chunk of crit damage. Then last, I just take the bare minimum on Territorial. This is strictly for the 15% close DR damage, but I mean that it's not. I don't think it's fully leveled, so I'm not getting that much damage to close from it right now. And then we grab this max mana node here and damage the stunned. And then for our last board, we just take Control. The Paragon board is going to look a little different than the Planner as I like fine tune and figure out exactly what I want. But we're just taking this for 1.2x damage to stunned and some additive towards crowd control enemies. I often don't fully max the stats on here because the damage is fine. I'm typically just going for multis and I want some DR and some other stuff like that. So then I probably should have went over this first. But so our enchantments are Lightning Spear and Ball Lightning enchantment. Lightning Spear, 10% chance to conjure a Lightning Spear when you're picking up Crackling. Ball Lightning makes a ton of Crackling energy. And then because we lost, so Lightning Spear enchant worked really well with CL enchant because Destructive CL made Crackling when it spawned out and it hit things to crit them. So then I ended up opting for Ball Lightning enchantment just to like amp up the damage again, and then also make more Crackling to feed into Lightning Spear. So that's the build. I'm not going to go over the skill tree. You can look at that later, but it's just the skill bar: Ice Blades, Ice Armor, Teleport, Flame Shield, Unstable Currents, Ball Lightning. Then we'll go over the pet a little bit. So first is Flash of Adrenaline. When you have Tactical, it reduces the cooldown, should be 40%. That'll take it to 12 seconds. And then duration, that'll increase it by another 4. So this 8 seconds here, as you can see, it went to 12. So the duration and the cooldown are the same, so it's always up. It gives you 20% damage. And until in this slot, you're going to put Genesis. It gives it a 150% buff, so that'll take it from 20% to 50%. So you're going to have a permanent 1.5x damage buff on Flash of Adrenaline. And then yeah, you would slot Genesis in here. Next, we have Tempest. Tempest is just really good. It attacks really fast. Currently, I have Arcing so that it hits more enemies so that it can apply a burn. And then we give it resource support to help with the mana because every time it does damage, it's going to give me 12 resource. I think when I end up getting Evernight, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to go in the skill tree and I think I'm just going to drop Devouring Blaze because it's 1.21x. Because the mana definitely needs this resource support because when it's not dense, the mana isn't that good. It's like fine on bosses and when it's dense. but I might just drop the burning support, and we'll just put on Evernight. That way, this thing's shooting off every 0.8 seconds, and you're getting Evernight's a little mini Shaco, so that'll give you +4 to all your ranks. So like that'll end up. Let's see, this scales by 29 to 31%. This will go up 8%, which will be about 25% damage. So another 4 ranks all the time will equal Devouring Blaze. And if you do end up getting a Shaco, what'll probably end up happening is we're gonna slot Disobedience on the amulet. I really don't want to give up Raiment. We'll just slot Diso on the Ami. I don't want to run Juggernaut because the Asus Evade is too important. One second. The Asus Evade is too important for all the crit chance, so like we really can't afford to be having a 10-second evade. So yeah, we'll end up just putting Disobedience on the amulet. We'll slot Shaco, and then we'll probably just have mana cost, mastery skills, mana cost, ranks to mastery skills, conjuration mastery, and total armor, and we'll just give up the move speed. So now that I'm done rambling, let's get into some vaults. Let's see what we got. Actually, let's run an Alderwood first, and let's hope I don't die, because then the video is scuffed, and I have to redo all the stuff I just talked about. But we might keep it. I talked for a while. Ball lightning. You know, I told myself after season 2 that I was never running this again because I ran it for an entire season, and I'm bored of it, and I was done. But now, let's see this baby cook. Whenever I make a build, I always try to not do Firebolt enchant. I hate being tied to it. You gotta be careful with these guys. So as you can see, the mana gets a little low sometimes, but it's looking pretty good. But yeah, Raiment's really important for this. Honestly, everything's just stunned. You get a suppressor. Suppressors are a bit of an issue, but it should be fixed in the update that's coming, where like if you stun or freeze a suppressor, it actually takes down the field for a little while, so that you actually have a chance to nuke them. But like as you can see, this is just nuking, and I'm pretty sure Alderwood has a boss, so then we can run some vaults after. We'll be good. But yeah, I mean, if you get caught out, it's going to be a little squishy. So, but I mean, I'm at 11,200 armor. You know, for T100s, I'm really trying to get 13,300. So what that would just come down to, does this have an armor roll? No, it doesn't. So what that would come down to is just running, if you really want to like be safe, you would just run an Elixir of Fortitude. And you should be able to get those pretty easily from Hell Tides, and if not, you can just buy them. Or as you can see, I'm running at 11,200 armor, and I'm chilling. I'm doing good. And then we got an event, so let's just rip this. We run the overflowing passive so that I can get my cooldowns down. It'll decrease the cooldown of my teleport, which is how I regen all my mana, or help regen mana. But as you can see, like, I'm not even going to cast teleport for a little bit here. So you can see, like, even without Tibalds, the mana is pretty decent. But these just help, really just help cap it off. Your mana, you really only have mana problems when it's not dense and you're not making like crackling. But when you teleport onto a pack, it should be pretty good. You're really gonna have to be careful though of exploding pools, because we don't have that much DR. We really only have one close DR roll. I didn't take any DR burning, so it's gonna be on your toes with this one. So that was pretty chill. Let's keep it moving. Oh my god, another one. Well, it's a good showcase. See if the build can stay alive and handle these solo. So the whole thing, you just kind of bop around. I'm just holding the right click button. Popping UC. And I got nuked. By the poison. Something distant was shooting me. I think that wouldn't happen as much if I had if I actually had like another armor roll. Yeah, it was these guys. You know, sometimes you're just gonna get nuked. If you want to be tankier, I would say drop Raiment, and then you'll have some DR. So that's always an option. I ran this build all last season without Raiment. It definitely functions. Just when you are running Raiment, just gotta realize you're not that tanky, brother. You ain't that guy, pal. I know this is a Zeus tank build, but we're making it a little more damage this season after BL got gutted. Suppressors can be a little bit of a bitch, but yeah, like I said, that'll fix itself up a little bit. Oh, alright, I'm good to go. I didn't even realize. Oh my god. That hurt. Alright, let's make our way to the boss. See what kind of boss deeps we're working with. This way. Alright, let's ignore him. So yeah, you're going to want to try and evade, like whenever you can. Because then you get the movement speed and you get the more crit. But yeah, you basically just constantly have a barrier. Everything's stunned. So that's also why like you don't have to run Raiment. Just because if you watch it, like everything gets stunned. So you don't really need the Raiment for the crowd control. It's more so for the grouping and like speed farming. Because speed's the name of the game right now. Sometimes you gotta back off, wait for your cooldowns. Because you really just need a barrier. Use my UC. Let's try and get my unstable currents back real quick. And I got nuked. Oh man, my armor. My rolls aren't that good. My armor's not where it's supposed to be. So let's just go in without the unstable. And let's just see how it is at base. We'll get it back eventually. So because we're running Raiment and Tibbs, just gonna have to be careful. Some of these bosses, they're gonna hurt. All right. So now we got unstable ripping. Where's he gonna come from? There he is. So yeah, we ended up getting a stagger, and he's dead. But yeah, armor's not where it should be, so it's definitely feeling a little glassy. All right, let's end up going. Let's just go to Saragar. Then we'll do a vault. I think for this vault, I'm going to take off Raiment so that we can see how it plays, like as the tank version of this. That was more of the speed farm version. And those dungeons with the porcupines and the ranged units, they're never really that forgiving. I just want to check out my amulets and rings real quick, see if I got anything good. I don't really care about the rest of this. Maybe the focus is. But no, I'm just going to delete the rest of it. We'll just put these legendaries in the vault. We'll check them out later. Alright, so let's pull out chess piece. Let's see if we got something that I can work with. Yeah, we'll work with this guy real quick. It's just some random chess piece. We'll roll it once, see what we can get, and then we'll slot Ever Living on it, and we'll be pretty good. Let's grab Ever Living, see if we got one right there. Okay. Let's give this a quick enchant, see if we can get something. Nothing. Okay, we got enough for a couple rerolls. No resist. We're just looking for some form of DR. Take the int for now. Come on, stop giving me resists. Give me some form of DR real quick. DR close. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to put Ever Living on it real quick. So much stuff is vuln, and then we'll go make 2 rubies, and we're good to go. Craft 2 rubies. Zoink, zoink. And then we're good. So now this is the Zeus tank version. A lot tankier. Typically, I would not have all stats here. But now my armor is going to be looking a lot better. Because you really want those 2 armor rolls and then the 66% disobedience. Let's get... How's this one look? Lifesteal. No Death Pulse for sure. No Death Pulse. Vault of Ink, Backstabbers. No volcanic. Alright, let's just run this Vault of Stone. Probably run 2 of these, see how it feels. So with these, with Vaults, you're going to want 30 stacks of warding. With Blizzard, if you play perfectly, you can get away with 20 stacks, but 30 is just safe. That way you don't have to, like, in the final room, you don't have to be worried about your stacks as much. You can just afford to lose a few. Let's see if I actually have any good. We'll just use a cruelty. So yeah, now we have no Raiment, but as you can see, this is why it's the Zeus tank build. A lot tankier, everything's stunned, and then you just kill it. I'm gonna leave the planner without Raiment, but as you saw, I already told you how to slot it in. But yeah, you just teleport in, stun a bunch of stuff. I swear, when I hit those little those wall things, you end up casting so many ball lightnings and end up going slower. I feel like my DPS increases with those. Hey, Lions are up 14-0 to the Niners. Let's go. Now we're just gonna cruise, baby. Definitely way tankier this way. That DR close roll was perfect. I know, it's funny. People complain about Source being squishy, but then literally all I have to do is take off Raiment, and then I'm just not squishy anymore. I think we're going to keep the build without Raiment. It just doesn't need it. This is the Zeus tank. Let's see, where do I need to go? But yeah, just try and make your way cruising through. You see, I'm just tanking as I get folded because I sat in an explosion. Oh man. I think this is just user error. Alright, let's just speed run like you're supposed to. Let's try and always keep a barrier up. As you can see, it's just shreds. Definitely not my best gameplay showcase, but sometimes it's hard to talk and play at the same time. I'll usually end up dying. But yeah, these lightning spears are doing a really good job stunning, making vulnerable. I'm just shredding through, picking up loot, stuff stunned. Pop unstable currents here and just shred. Pretty good job still against unstops. But like this life on kill is pretty nice. You kind of just keep healing up. What one we got this time? We got a frosty one. Oh man, need some crackling. These are a little annoying. Use this flame shield to go over some traps. We can keep this barrier up. Let's not get hit by that explosion. And boom, finished it. 22 stacks left. Let's grab some of this stuff. Let's grab that. We'll take 3 junk pieces. Junk. Alright, let's run one more. Gate Hall, I'm gonna throw this all in the stash. We'll go about it later. Alright, let's just check. I'm gonna put Raiment away real quick. Let's just check some of the stuff that I need. I don't need gloves. Got like 1 ring, no jewelry. Alright, let's just put this stuff away. Look at it later. Blacksmith up. Oops, we've been dying. Extra shrines. Yeah, let's do that. We'll do another Vault of Stone. Ball lightning's still good. You ain't a Hoda Barb though. None of Sorcerer's builds that we know of yet. The only one that are as busted as are gonna be as busted as Hoda. Overpower is just so broken. So if you're looking for the most broken build in the game, it's not gonna be anything on the Source class. But if you like Sorcerer, we can make do. Let's see if I can actually get one where I don't die. Makes a Zeus tank build, dies 30 times. It happens. But for the most part, it would be better if I had actual stuff. Let's see if we can end up... We'll see how much armor we get to with the 2 rolls. But yeah, chess piece is missing a DR roll. Let's see. The 12-6, and that's with a piss poor. That's with a decent armor roll there. So yeah, you'll be alright if you can max that armor roll. Let's try and speed through this. I know that's what everybody wants to do. Speed farm. But yeah, so Raiment really isn't needed that much because this build, you're orbiting chainsaws around your body. The stun's really nice, but you can kind of just stun everything and just walk through. So Raiment isn't that good for it. But definitely for speed farming. Like if you're doing lower tiers, where like you're farming like T70s, T75s, just because it's more chill. This build's got good area damage, good crowd control. The bossing's okay. Nothing's really S tier on bossing. Like you're not a Hoda Barb. Just kind of you'll kill it eventually. Oh, I want this greed shrine though. Give me that. So yeah, each conjuration that we get out is 6% damage. So I'm not really tell if I can't really tell how many I have out because this buff bar is just so cluttered. Suppressors are annoying. Yeah, see? Like, look how many... we just have so many lightning spheres. Another frost one. This one's not too bad. Bit annoying. Yeah, you get enough warding stacks. See, I've been kind of doing these sloppy and I've only lost 4. Just need to stay away from the exploding pools. For whatever reason, this game loves exploding pools. Down to 21 stacks. We're okay. Yeah, not bad. See, I mean, that was pretty chill. Never really got in the red during that. Everything was kind of fine. Life on kill was really helping me out there. But yeah, build will be in my description. Build will be in the link. Build will be in the description under my Mobalytics profile. I got a lot of cool stuff going on, and with most of them, I usually end up doing stuff like this, where I'll build it and I'll test it, build it as close as I can to it. I'll test it in T100 content only. That way, I know it's good. And yeah, I think after what happened with that first dungeon with Raiment, I don't think Raiment's going on the build. I think we're just gonna keep the ever living chest because it was nice. Yeah, check me out. I got Twitch here on YouTube, and then just check out my Mobalytics profile link. All right, thanks guys. Peace.